In ancient times, there was a vast empire ruled by powerful kings. Each one commanded lands, armies, and immeasurable riches. Their thrones were made of gold, their crowns sparkled under the sun, and their decrees made multitudes tremble. One day, however, news arrived that troubled all these kings. There was a king above them, a king who possessed no visible armies, who dwelled not in earthly palaces, yet whose authority extended over all creation. A king who had anointed a son to rule not just one nation, but all nations. The kings of the earth grew furious. "How dare they say someone is above us?" shouted the first king, striking his scepter on the marble floor. "We built these empires with our own hands," proclaimed the second, pointing toward his conquests. "We acknowledge no authority but our own," declared the third. So they conspired together. "Let us break these invisible chains, let us cast off this yoke. We are free to do as we please. We are the absolute masters of our own destiny." The crowds applauded, advisors agreed. Philosophers crafted elaborate justifications. It seemed the rebellion was complete. But something curious happened. High above the heavens, beyond the clouds, and above the stars, the one who sees all observed the scene, and he smiled. It was not the smile of cruel mockery, but the smile of someone watching children claim they no longer need their parents. The smile of one who knows the beginning and the end, who sees human plans the way an architect sees sandcastles before the approaching tide. Today they conspire, the Lord thought, but against what? Against me, who breathed life into their lungs? Against me, who upholds every atom of their kingdoms with a single word? They barely understand the meaning of existence, yet they wish to dethrone existence himself. Then the Lord spoke, and his voice echoed not only through the air, but deep within the human conscience. You may decree your laws, raise your banners, and proclaim your independence. But I have already installed my king on Zion, my holy mountain. Not because I need approval, but because this is the foundation of reality itself. Turning to his son, the Anointed One, he declared with tenderness and authority, "You are my son. Today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will give you the nations as your inheritance. The ends of the earth will be your possession. You will rule with unshakable justice, with a scepter untouched by corruption. Broken systems will be shattered like clay pots, so that something new and true may arise." Among the rebellious kings was a young prince named Marcus. Unlike the others, he did not shout slogans. Something about the news of a greater king deeply unsettled him. That night, alone in his chambers, Marcus reflected, what if we are wrong? What if our idea of freedom is only an illusion? What if the chains we are trying to break are actually protecting us from ourselves? He looked out the window. He saw his kingdom shining on the surface, yet he knew its secrets. Injustice in the courts, oppression of the poor, violence that supported his throne. "Perhaps," he whispered, "perhaps we need a truly righteous king. One who governs not by brute force, but by wisdom. A king who cannot be corrupted by power, because his power comes from a source untouched by corruption." The next morning, while the other kings continued their conspiracy, Marcus made a different choice. He knelt not before the other kings nor before his own ambitions, but before the one who dwells in the heavens. "Lord," he prayed, "all my life I have tried to build my own kingdom. But now I see that all our kingdoms are like vapor disappearing in the sun. Teach me to serve you with reverence, not the fear of a slave, but the deep respect of someone who finally understands before whom he stands." Something extraordinary happened. Marcus did not lose his crown at that moment, but it changed. To him, it was no longer a symbol of power, but a sacred responsibility. To govern with justice the small territory entrusted to him, knowing he would answer to a greater king. The other kings called him weak, traitor, naive. But Marcus discovered a happiness no military victory had ever given him. He discovered that trusting the Lord is not losing freedom, but finding the only freedom that is real. Freedom from the tyranny of the self. Freedom from the need to prove his worth. Freedom from the fear of losing everything at any moment. 3 years later, the kingdoms of the rebellious kings collapsed one by one. Not by dramatic supernatural intervention, but under the weight of their own injustice. Systems built on sand cannot withstand time, but Marcus's small kingdom flourished, not because it was perfect, but because he had learned to rule under the sovereignty of a greater king. And when he finally left this world, people did not remember him as the most powerful king, but as the wisest. Because he understood what the others refused to accept. Those who truly live free are those who trust in the Lord. What silent rebellions are you fighting in your heart? Against what authority, principle, or truth do you rebel, even subtly? Could it be that the yoke you try to break is actually a protection? Could the freedom you seek be nothing more than another form of slavery? The psalm invites us to awaken to the reality that there is a greater order, a righteous king, a wise sovereignty, and that true happiness is not found in making ourselves gods, but in trusting the one who is odd. Blessed are all who trust in the Lord. Psalm 2:12. Take a deep breath, recognize the areas of your life where you have tried to hold total control. Imagine surrendering them, not to a cruel tyrant, but to a wise and loving Father. Feel the relief of no longer needing to be the God of your own life. You are not losing something. You are finding the place where you always belonged. Rest in this truth and experience the peace of trusting in a greater sovereignty.